The bell above the jewelry store door jingled sharply, and every head turned. A weary, white single dad in his mid-30s stepped inside, clutching a small jar filled with loose coins. His little girl, barely 7, clung to his hand, her eyes wide with hope. Whispers rose instantly, customers scoffing, a clerk smirking. But he walked straight to the glass counter, voice steady. "How much will this buy my daughter's dream?" Before we dive in, drop a comment with where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos like this. Let's begin. The clerk, a young man with slicked back hair and too much arrogance for his age, leaned forward and sneered. "Sir, this is a jewelry store, not a coin exchange." The dad, his name was Michael Hayes, didn't flinch. His daughter Lily stared at the sparkling necklaces with awe, her small fingers gripping his sleeve. Michael opened the jar, coins clattering onto the counter. Dimes, nickels, quarters, years of saving from spare change, late-night vending machine tips from his second job. His voice cracked, but he kept it firm. "My little girl's been dreaming about a necklace for her birthday. This is all I have." The store grew silent, but not out of respect. A couple near the back chuckled under their breath. A middle-aged woman whispered, "Embarrassing." Lily's cheeks flushed. She tugged his hand, whispering, "Daddy, maybe we should go." Michael bent down, cupped her chin, and whispered loud enough for everyone to hear, "No, sweetheart. You deserve something beautiful. Don't ever let anyone make you feel less." It was then that a woman appeared from behind a velvet curtain. Elegant mid-40s, her pearl earrings catching the light, Evelyn Carter, the owner. Her eyes locked on the scattered coins, then on Lily's trembling smile. Something shifted in her expression. "Pack those coins away," she said coldly to the clerk. "I'll handle this myself." The crowd leaned in, certain humiliation was coming. Instead, Evelyn looked Michael in the eye. "You remind me of someone I once knew," she said. "Someone who taught me the value of sacrifice." Evelyn didn't blink beneath the chandelier's glare. "Mr. Hayes, Miss Lily, come with me." The clerk, name tag reading Trent, started to object. "Ms. Carter, this is—" She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "Trent, sweep the floor by the entrance and log 15 minutes of courtesy training after your shift." A tiny gasp fluttered through the room. The couple in the back went suddenly quiet. Evelyn opened the velvet gate and guided Michael and Lily behind the counter toward a small consultation room. Glass walls, a round table, a single white lily in a vase, as if the space had been waiting for them. She shut the door, and the murmurs outside turned to a dull, curious hum. "Sit," she said gently. "Both of you." Michael sat, the jar of coins between his palms. He looked like a man trying to hold a roof over a house in a storm. Jaw set, eyes soft only for his child. Lily swung her feet off the chair, afraid to brush the polished floor. Evelyn studied the jar. "You've been saving a long time." "Since spring," Michael said. "I clean vending machines after my warehouse shift. Whatever's left in the coin return goes here. If I find a quarter in the couch here, I don't tell her no on birthdays. I can't, not after the year we had." Lily leaned in conspiratorially. "Daddy burned pancakes twice," she whispered, trying to lighten him. "But he made smiley faces out of strawberries." Evelyn's mouth tilted. "That sounds like a very determined chef." Michael's laugh was small but real. "Determined, yeah. Skilled, jury's out." She folded her hands. "What are we buying, Mr. Hayes?" "We're not. I don't want charity." He cleared his throat. "I was hoping for a simple silver chain. Nothing fancy. Something she could wear with her school picture. Something that's hers." Evelyn nodded once. "You're not here for charity. You're here for fairness." She turned to Lily. "Do you like stars, hearts, initials, lockets?" Lily glanced at the glass cases outside. "I like a locket," she said shyly. "So I can put my mommy's picture. And Daddy's too." Michael's hand went still on the jar. He didn't look away from his daughter. "A locket, then," he said, voice steady. Evelyn stood. "Give me 5 minutes." She paused at the door and lowered her voice to Michael. "I remember you," he frowned. "I don't think we've met." "Maybe not like this." She touched the edge of the door. "Pharmacy on Elm 3 months ago. A woman in front of you came up short on her mother's medication. You paid the difference and left before they could thank you." Her eyes warmed. "The woman was my store manager. The medication was for my mother." Michael blinked, trying to conjure the moment. Painfully bright fluorescent lights. A long line. A crumpled 20 he'd been saving for brake pads. An older voice trembling. "I can't leave without it." He'd stepped forward and said, "You won't." Then he'd gone, because kindness done for applause isn't kindness at all. "I didn't know," he murmured. "I did," Evelyn said. "And I don't forget." She walked out, leaving him and Lily in a bubble of silence. Outside, the store had gathered like an audience peeking at the stage. Buyers who had put down their credit cards to watch the coin jar man and his daughter. Lily's feet went faster. "Daddy, did you really save a lady's mom?" "I didn't save anyone, Bug," he said softly. "I just helped when I could." "You always do." He smoothed a flyaway hair behind her ear. "You do, too." Evelyn returned with a velvet tray in both hands and something softer in her eyes than polish could create. She set the tray on the table and lifted the lid. Inside sat a small silver locket, simple, oval, with a fine chain and a discreet hinge. No diamonds, no showmanship. Just a piece of metal that felt like a promise. Lily inhaled, as if she could smell the shine. "It looks like a little moon," she whispered. Evelyn nodded. "It opens. 2 tiny pictures fit here and here. It's sterling silver, sturdy, not fussy. The piece is from our everyday keepsakes line. We designed them for moments that matter, not parties with cameras." She looked at Michael. "It's tagged at $129, but let's talk about price." Michael straightened. Pride and fear collided in his chest. "Miss Carter, I said I don't want charity. And I said you're not here for that." She slid the tray closer to Lily, but kept her voice on Michael. "You didn't ask for discounts at the pharmacy. You didn't leave a note with your name. You gave away your own break money because someone else's emergency was louder than your own. That isn't charity. That's community." She tilted her head. "So here's my price." She picked up the coin jar and shook it lightly, the clink like rain on copper roofs. Then she carried it to the door, opened it, and stepped back into the main showroom. Conversations died instantly. Every employee looked up. Trent stopped sweeping. Evelyn set the jar on the central glass counter where everyone could see it. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said, voice clear, "this is what love looks like in a jar." Trent's face flushed. Evelyn wasn't shaming. She was teaching. A father saved coins for months to buy a locket for his daughter's birthday. He worked 2 jobs and still found a way to help a stranger. "We will not measure him in dollars. We will measure him in courage." People drifted closer, unsure whether to put hands in pockets or hearts on sleeves. She placed the locket beside the jar and clicked open its hinge so the tiny frames flashed. "Our store has always offered layaway, but we're expanding it today. I'm establishing a jar promise policy. If a parent walks in with honest savings, coins, bills, whatever, and a child beside them, we match the value up to the full price of a keepsake piece. No interest, no embarrassment. We honor effort." She looked to Michael through the glass. "Mr. Hayes, will you permit me to apply the first jar promise to your purchase?" Michael stepped out beside Lily, every eye pressing like heat against his shoulders. He swallowed. Pride fought to stay upright. He lifted his chin. "On one condition," Evelyn smiled. "Name it." "You put my name on nothing," he said. "Make the policy about the next dad, the next mom, the next kid who wants to hold on to a picture." He glanced at Lily, then back. "And let me pay every cent in this jar. Not because I have to, because I want my daughter to know we finished what we started." Something electric moved through the room. Not applause, not pity. Respect gathering like weather. Evelyn nodded once, like a salute. "Done," she turned to Trent. "Count the coins." "Everyone." Trent's jaw worked. He slid the jar to the counting tray and began feeding quarters, dimes, nickels into the machine. The counter spit out numbers. 23.75, 37.10, 55.35. Lily pressed her palms to the glass, eyes dancing with every beep. Customers stood shoulder to shoulder, expectations unraveling at the sight of dignity conducted like a symphony. The couple who'd laughed earlier looked at their shoes. A young man near the door pulled a 5 from his wallet and slipped it into the jar. No one stopped him. A second later, a woman added $3 bills. The machine ticked upward. 68 110. 86 30. Trent glanced at Evelyn. She nodded. If people give, they give. We don't perform kindness and then lock the doors. By the time the last coin rattled through, the total read 131.45. A small miracle built not on rare pennies, but on ordinary people changing their minds. Evelyn kept her voice steady. Price was 120 nals. Mr. Hayes, looks like you and this room just bought a birthday, Lily squealed and then clapped both hands over her mouth, unsure if joy was allowed in nice stores. Michael laughed, a sound that had rust on it finally breaking free. Evelyn carefully lifted the locket, motioned Lily closer, and fastened it around the small, hopeful neck. There, she said. It suits you. Lily stared down at the tiny silver moon resting at her collarbone. Is it okay if I don't take it off? Even to sleep? It's okay to feel loved when you sleep, Evelyn said softly. Trent cleared his throat. Miss Carter, do you want me to bag it or... You'll do more than bag it, Evelyn replied, not unkindly. You'll apologize. Trent turned to Michael and Lily, ears pink. I'm sorry, he said. The words fought coming out. I judged you before I knew anything. That was wrong. Michael didn't make him grovel. He just nodded. Thank you. Do better for the next person. Trent swallowed. I will. Evelyn extended a small envelope to Michael. 2 tiny photo slips cut to size. Bring me the pictures or email them, and we'll place them in the locket properly. No charge. Michael took the envelope. His fingertips were rough. Hers were cool as porcelain. You didn't have to do any of this. She hesitated, then turned the envelope over. A name was written in a careful hand. Marjorie Carter. My mother, she said. She used to say jewelry doesn't start as jewelry. It starts as a story. We just set the metal around it. Michael's eyes stung. He blinked hard. She sounds like someone my daughter would have liked. Evelyn's smile trembled. She would have insisted on the star-shaped locket, she admitted. But she'd have approved of the moon. Lily tugged gently at Evelyn's sleeve. Do you like strawberry pancakes? Evelyn startled, then laughed. I do. Daddy makes them kind of lopsided, Lily said, choosing diplomacy with the guile of the very young. But they taste like a hug. A quiet, rippled laugh moved through the onlookers, not unkind now, not brittle. Something in the room had softened. The expensive glass suddenly felt like it was there to protect a different kind of value. Evelyn looked around the store and lifted her chin. We're adding something else, she announced. A community case. Once a month, anyone can nominate a family for a keepsake at cost. Customers can contribute to a fund by rounding their purchase up to the next dollar. She nodded at the jar. We'll call it the Jar Promise Fund, today's seed money. Whatever is left in this jar after Mr. Hayes's purchase. And the first nomination, she gestured toward Trent, comes from Trent, who will choose someone and deliver it himself. Trent blinked twice, surprised to be trusted so quickly, then nodded. Yeah. I will. Michael shifted the envelope in his hand. He wanted to leave before tears made a fool of him, but he had one more thread to tie. Miss Carter, he said quietly, the pharmacy. I didn't even think about it again. I only did what I hoped someone would do for us. Her eyes glistened and didn't pretend not to. That's exactly why we're doing this for you. He extended his hand. She took it. In the grip was a bargain, no paper needed. Outside the glass, people stepped back to clear a path, as if something sacred were moving through. As they walked to the door, Lily paused by the entrance case and peered at a tray of small charms, a tiny whisk, a bike, a little book. She pointed to the book. For reading time, she breathed. Michael knelt. Next time, he said. We'll save again. Maybe not this much, but we'll try. Lily nodded solemnly, then looked up at Evelyn. Can I hug you? Evelyn's face broke open like mourning. Please. The little girl's arms went around her neck, silver moon pressing against pearl. For a heartbeat, the entire store held its breath, frozen not by shock this time, but by the simple weight of goodness. When the door jingled and the cold air spilled in, Michael turned back. He cleared his throat. "For what it's worth," he said. "Your policy, the jar promise, people are going to talk about it." "I hope so," Evelyn said. "But I hope more that they copy it," he smiled. "Then maybe I'll be back with coins for that book charm. And pancakes to share. Bring coffee," she said. "I'll bring real maple syrup." On the sidewalk, Lily skipped ahead, locket gleaming like a lighthouse. Michael followed, lighter, taller somehow. He looked at his reflection in the darkened window. Still, the same tired man in a work jacket, but with a new line sketched under the eyes. Not exhaustion, relief. "Daddy," Lily said, turning her face to the weak afternoon sun, "do you think Mommy will like being in my locket?" "I think she'll love being that close to your heart," he said, and meant every syllable. Behind them, the store hummed back to life. Customers stepped forward to pay, a few rounding up without being asked. Trent fetched a small sign from the back, hands steady now, and placed it beside the coin counter. "Jar promise accepted here." Evelyn watched the father and daughter walk away. Then she picked up her phone, opened her notes app and typed, "Call other independent jewelers. Share policy. Ask them to steal it. Kindness wasn't a secret. It was a design you gave away." And for the first time in months, as the bell chimed for the next customer, the store felt exactly like what her mother had built it to be. Not a place you went to feel rich, but a place you left feeling whole. Snow dusted the sidewalks as Michael and Lily walked home, her new silver locket shining against her jacket. She skipped beside him, grinning. "Daddy, did you see everyone? They looked at us like we were heroes." Michael smiled faintly. "Pretty sure they were looking at you, Bug. You froze the whole store." She twirled once, whispering, "Do you think Mommy saw it too?" He touched the locket gently. "I think she did. And I think she's proud." Back at their small duplex, Lily dashed to her room to find a photo for the locket. Michael sat in silence, still replaying Evelyn Carter's words. The weight of strangers' respect sitting heavier than any coin jar. A knock broke the quiet. When he opened the door, Evelyn stood there, coat buttoned, a thermos in her hand, and a soft determination in her eyes. "I don't make house calls," she said with a small smile, but tonight felt different. Soon she was sitting on the rug with Lily, helping cut a tiny photo of her late mother to fit inside the locket. The moment the frame clicked shut, Lily whispered, "Now Mommy's always with me." Evelyn's eyes misted. Exactly where she belongs. When Lily finally drifted to sleep, Evelyn slid a manila envelope across the table. "This isn't just about a necklace," she said. "The jar promise could change lives." "I want your voice in it," Michael hesitated. "I'm just a warehouse worker." "No," Evelyn replied firmly. "You're proof that love is louder than money. People need to hear that." Michael looked at his daughter, sleeping with the locket pressed to her chest. For once, tomorrow didn't feel like just another battle to survive. It felt like the beginning of something bigger.